everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are not doing languages, we are doing life. I thought it was time I gave more food for thought in relation to my mixed race are not black video, and I've noticed that a few of the comments overlap and ask the same sort of thing or use the same sort of argument in terms of why mixed race is black. So I thought, why not make a quick video with my thoughts in relation to some of these common themes I have seen. Without much further ado, let's just jump in. The first thing that I really wanted to flag, and this was one made by a few people, and that is the sort of idea that mixed race can't be a thing because you've got so many different types of mixed race. Mixed race is not always white and black. So I do definitely agree that mixed race is a catch-all group. However, if we have to have a group, then I would want to be in the mixed race group. Personally, I wish that there wasn't a need for group. I wish that we didn't have to sort of box ourselves, but as I said in the original video, in a world where we are having to box ourselves, at least box me in an area that I wish to be put in. One sort of thought that I had in relation to this sort of catch-all group, as the world progresses, the population is probably going to be 99% mixed race in I don't know how many years, decades. So when that happens, what is then going to happen to the original races as we know today? So will we still have white, black, Asian, or will we just have nothing because everyone's mixed? Another thing that I really wanted to flag, and this is more just like my opinion, not really in relation to any of the comments, but I just kind of wanted to note that it's very easy for people who haven't walked in the shoes of a mixed race person to sit in judgment at their choice to be identified as mixed race. For those who aren't mixed race but are very strongly against a mixed race person calling themselves mixed race, then I just kind of want to say, please appreciate the fact that yes, you're entitled to your opinion, however, it's going to weigh less in the sense that you haven't walked in the same shoes. Just like in the reverse, if there was something that really affected your race, whatever that may be, yes, I could have an opinion on it, but my opinion would weigh less because I'm not the group being impacted. I've not walked in your shoes, so I don't have the same insight or the same viewpoints as you would have because you're the one being personally impacted by it. Another comment I wanted to flag or address can be kind of summarized in the sense of saying, but you don't get a choice. Society doesn't give you a choice. And my main comment in relation to that sort of comment is it all depends on where you live. Where I live, we have a choice. I mentioned that in the video, we have a choice. I have made my choice and my choice is respected. Especially the older I get, it's very rare now for someone to automatically assume I'm black because of how much prominence mixed race people are having, the growing number of mixed race people in this country. I think the last census put us at about 1.2 million. We are being heard and being called mixed race, but of course that is dependent on where I live. So where you live, you may not have that choice, and then it's down to either mixed race people or people who support the view that mixed race people are mixed race to then speak up and have their voices heard until you're living in a situation where, again, you've taken that choice and your choice is respected. Another comment that I saw quite a lot, or like alluding to, is the idea that if a mixed race person isn't identifying as black, then that must be because they want to get closer to the white side. They want to get closer to white people and they want to go away from black people. Personally, that couldn't be further away from the truth. I'm incredibly proud on my black side, just as I am on my white side. If you knew me, then you would know that I speak more about my black side than I do my white side in terms of culture. I am forever repping that side. I am ever introducing friends to new foods, new music. So me identifying as mixed race isn't me trying to get away from a black side. It's not me trying to get closer to my white side. It is literally me saying my genetic makeup is 50% white and 50% black. I identify as mixed race, therefore please respect the fact that I am half white and half black. One comment appeared a number of times and always made me laugh was, well, if your dad is black, then you're black. That's just how it works. My dad's white. Now what? So according to your own logic, if my dad is black, then I'm black. But my dad is white. So am I white? You see how that doesn't really make sense? One thing that I wanted to also mention was there was a lot of name calling and like wild comments about things like,
"You'll be punished for this."
If you've got a strong argument for why mixed race is black, then I'm all ears. But if you have to resort to name calling or saying wild statements like that, in my opinion, you lose credibility and you add no weight to the argument, and it kind of just falls flat. My final point on this is one for mainly the American commenters on my last video. So obviously, race in terms of racism is different all over the world. Racist stuff that happens here, for example, in the UK, is not going to be the same that happens in Italy, in America, in Jamaica. Is going to be different. There are some countries where racism, the concept of racism, doesn't really even exist. They have other problems like colorism, classism. Racism isn't just one thing. It's not one thing that we can neatly summarize and say this is racism, because what your country consider racism, another country wouldn't consider it. A good example is the argument over hair. There have been a lot of comments. I even made a video about Adele's Bantu knots, whether or not they were Bantu knots, things like that, at the London Carnival. You had a lot of people, predominantly Americans, saying cancel Adele because she's appropriating our culture. But then when you actually asked, for example, the Jamaican people, because obviously she was wearing Jamaican flags and there's a debate over whether it was the Jamaican hairstyle or the African hairstyle. So you had a lot of Jamaican people, and then you also had a lot of African people who were like, go on Adele, brilliant, we love it, we love that you're embracing our culture. So this was one event with two completely different opinions and interpretations on how Adele had worn her hair. It really highlighted the way racism is viewed so differently in different parts of the world. So I think when watching my Is Mixed Race Black video, I noticed that a lot of Americans were very in support of me being wrong and the fact that mixed race is black, because again, they're looking at it from a very American-centric point of view, which of course is understandable. When you look at things, interpret things, you interpret it from your own perspective and where you live. However, I just want to make it a point of saying that the way you view race over there is not how we view it over here. So when I have my opinions, I'm bringing it from a British perspective, how we view mixed race over here. Like I mentioned with the fact that on our censuses we have designated areas for saying you're mixed race. On every job application there is a section for mixed race, so we do view mixed race as a group and as a race. So I just wanted to kind of say, please do take that into consideration. Your view is your view, yes, but please appreciate that there are other views in the world, that there are other countries that have a completely different view to you, that have a completely opposite view. Doesn't mean they're right, doesn't mean they're wrong, but I think it's important to appreciate the opposing view. That was just my thoughts on some of the common comments found on my previous video. One thing I'm very proud of that video for is that despite the people who were in disagreement, which I expected it when I made the video, hence why I made the video, was the amount of people who were in agreement and the amount of people who said that finally that someone was saying what they were thinking, someone was saying what they wanted to hear, that someone who was mixed race was aligning with how they felt about being mixed race. So I'm very proud of that. I'm very pleased that I was able to sort of reach out to other mixed race people who understand what it's like. As that brings us to the end of the video, please do smash the like, the share and the subscribe. Join this family. We have life and language videos coming to you weekly. There is only one thing left to say, and that is to have a blessed day. And until next time, goodbye everyone.